So now what? Now what happens with the Cleveland Browns? Now what happens with Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders? You can't have Dillon Gabriel out there for one game. They're not going to replace him next week. He was 29 for 52, 221 yards, no picks, no touchdowns either. But let's be honest, if you watch the game, he should have had probably two, maybe even three picks. He threw what should have been two interceptions, but the Steelers defense dropped the ball. Then his receivers didn't do him any favors. There were a couple of passes that went right through the receiver's hands that also should have been picked off. But again, Steelers defense couldn't catch the ball. But why would you put a rookie in there and throw the ball 52 damn times? You got Judkins in there, 12 carries for 36 yards. Run the ball. But they can't really do that. Their offensive line is not good. And let me be honest with you, the situation with Shedeur Sanders, you don't want to throw Shedeur Sanders to the wolves like that. You at least want some protection so we have time to throw. Now, I'll tell you what, if they do put Shedeur in and he has any measure of success with this offensive line, that's saying something. And you can't forget the fact that he was a better pro prospect than Dillon Gabriel was. I don't care what anybody tells you. Nobody thought Dillon Gabriel was a better prospect than Shedeur Sanders. And Shedeur Sanders can still do the same thing. Unfortunately, the Browns, who have never been able to develop a quarterback, picked the guy in the third round. So they got to play him. They got to see what they got. But I don't even think they believe that. And they've been playing so many games behind the scenes. Kevin Stefanski, who ultimately is a pretty good coach, looks like an idiot. It is clear that Stefanski and upper management, the executives and the owners and the GMs are not all on the same page on who they wanted. That is quite clear. Because if Shedeur Sanders would have been the third round draft pick, this wouldn't even be a question. Why do you have to go through practice and have one guy running the offense with the ones and the twos, and you have your two, future number two quarterbacks running the scout team? Why would you even do that? That just raised more questions. And again, it made Stefanski look stupid. Stefanski's a relatively good coach, but he is not in a good situation, and he is not making the situation any better for any one of them quarterbacks, for the Cleveland Browns, and for his job. Because guess what? Unless Shedeur comes in there and just lights it up, he's probably going to get fired with the way he's been running things. But he hasn't been getting any help from the upper management. Like I said, are they going to fire them too? Because clearly they are not on the same page with what they want to do and how they're going to go forward. Because they're going to go through all of this and then pick another quarterback next year. And they're going to be right back in the same boat. And I guess they just don't understand how supremely difficult it is to pick a good quarterback from the draft. Because even the ones that go in the first round, a lot of those don't turn out to be any good. So I don't know what they're going to do. Stefanski is coaching himself right out of a position. Some of the decisions that they're making make no sense. The crowd is turned against them. The fan base is really turned against them. They're like, do something. If Shedeur ain't it, why you keep him? Why you re-sign Bailey Zappi? Why'd you trade Joe Flacco? Why'd you trade Kenny Pickett? People get injured all the time. All the time. But at the end of the day, if Kenny Pickett is still on this team, do you keep Shedeur Sanders? Like, how does that even work out? And it just kind of lets you know that they weren't really in his corner anyways. Where he clearly is better than Dillon Gabriel. I would say that. But Dillon Gabriel got to get at least two more games starting. He's got to get at least 2 games just to make it fair. If you don't like what he's doing, then put Shedeur in, let him get a week's worth of practice with the ones, and let him get 3 games, and then go from there. Make your decision based on that. Or hell, give him 4 games, 5 games, whatever. You got plenty of football to play. But the only thing you got to do is give somebody a fair chance And let me be honest with you, you don't have to do that either, because the NFL is not fair. We see that all the time. Kids that come into camp, never get a shot, and then they go somewhere else, and then they blow up, and it's like, well, what happened to this kid? He just got caught in the shuffle. He was lost in the sauce. Look at what the Philadelphia Eagles did with Zach Bond. Zach Bond was down in New Orleans for what, 2 years, 3 years, or whatever it was? Barely played, was a special teamer. Gets up to Philadelphia and turns into an all-pro. Had his opportunity, was in the right place, with the right time, with the right people. Maybe this is not the right place, time, or people for Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders. But this is going to end up blowing up in Stefanski's face. Oh, and by the way, they still got they still got what's his name? The other quarterback with the bad contract that they gave up. So I don't know what the Browns are going to do. In my opinion, Dillon Gabriel was below average. He didn't throw a deep ball, not one time. Well, he did throw maybe a couple of 20-yarders, but nothing close to being recepted. Most of everything was dink and dunk, and that's what he did the whole game. And even then, he probably should have had 2 picks, 2 interceptions. But Steelers couldn't catch nothing. So I don't know what they're going to do next week with Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. The noise is going to get louder and louder trying to see Shedeur, but stick to the game plan. Let Dillon Gabriel start for 3 games. Give him at least 3 games so he can get his feet wet, get comfortable, and be confident in what he was going to do. I noticed today that Dillon Gabriel was throwing a lot of low balls. That just means you're rushing stuff. Your mechanics are off a little bit, but he settled into it and made a couple good passes down the middle. But let's see what he does going forward. Give him at least 3 games. Then give Shedeur 3 games or whatever it is you're going to do. But whatever you're going to do, you better do something, because y'all look like a flaming pile of crap. It looks like you have no vision. It looks like your management is not on the same page and everybody's doing their own thing. And it looks like Kevin Stefanski is being hampered by what they want to do upstairs. And any way you slice it, it ain't good for your ball team.